Hello, and welcome to Junker's Eve. I'm Lord Rumfish. This is my character, Delphina. And, you can see that I'm ice mining, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about these attributes. Now, it's hard to talk about attributes without also talking about, implants, the so-called augmentations. So the neural implants can give you boosts to a number of different things, including attributes. But I really want to talk more so about the attributes. We can get into these a little bit. So you can see I've got, a layout where I've got a dump stat of charisma, and I've pumped up perception and intelligence. I might have one or two implants that are giving a larger or smaller bonus. Most of them are around the same amount. I've tried to acquire some, haven't gone out of my way to get super expensive ones. So, I guess the big question is, how do you allot these? And in my case, why these two? Why perception and intelligence? And as a junker, I am kind of a set it and forget it kind of player. I like to pick out something that's going to serve me well in a wide variety of different roles, such as a ship that can do multiple different damage types with the same weapon groups, that kind of thing. In this case, I wanted to find an attribute layout that I was pretty happy with for the rest of my character's career. Because unless you've got 2 bonus remaps available, it's a long time between remaps. I believe it's a year. So, perception and intelligence. Let's go look at the skills for a second. Alright, armor skills. Intelligence and memory. There's intelligence. Corporation management. Got memory and charisma. So neither of those. Drones, I got memory and perception. So perception, there, it's one of the secondary skills. Electronics, we got intelligence and memory. So again, we got intelligence as one of our high stats. Engineering, intelligence and memory, again, we got intelligence as one of our high stats. Fleet support, charisma and willpower, neither of those. Gunnery, perception and willpower, we got perception as one of our high stats. Missiles, perception and willpower, we got perception as one of our high stats. Navigation, intelligence, and perception, we cover both of those. Navigation trains very quickly. Neural enhancement, intelligence and memory, intelligence is one of our high stats. Planet management, intelligence and memory, intelligence is a high stat. Production, memory, and intelligence, we got the secondary stat on this. Resource processing, we've got the secondary stat with intelligence. Rigging, we've got the primary stat on. Scanning, primary stat on. Science, primary stat. Shields, primary. Social, secondary. We actually have something for social here. Spaceship command perception, primary. Structure management, neither of those. Subsystems, intelligence, primary. Targeting, intelligence, primary. And trade, neither of those. So you can see from that spread of skills that intelligence and memory come up the most out of all of the different attributes. So I throw a wide net when I put out my attributes, planning on being able to train into as many things as possible. And as far as charisma being the dump stat, if you're paying attention, charisma doesn't come up very much. Corporation management, fleet support, social. But again, on social, we've actually got the secondary stat here, and trade. So there are not that many skills in the game that are governed by charisma. And if you're not very interested in training into fleet support and corporation management, then personally I find that the things I wanted to train in social and trade, I've been able to train. It has not hampered me that much in unlocking the things I wanted to unlock. If I change my mind about fleet support or corporation management at some point in the future, then at some point I could retrain into charisma, but mostly all these other skills. I feel like I got a foot in the door already. Now, I'm not saying you have to do what I did. Your journey is your own, but you can take a look at what you want for your character. If you have a specific goal in mind, if this is an alt character, something like that, then you can specialize, train them into the things you really want to train them in. But if this is your primary character, where what you want with the character might change over time, then having access to attributes that give you the widest range of good skill point progression, and that's the only thing that these do, is they increase the rate that you gain skill points for your skills. Then, yeah, you could certainly do worse than following in my footsteps, going high into perception and intelligence. Oh, I got some baddies. Let's see, can the drones fight them off? Probably. This is 0.6 space. The interesting thing about drones is you don't even have to be able to target the opponent yourself. The drones will go and do that for you. You can keep an eye on your drone's health down here. Warriors, by virtue of how fast they are, they tend to take care of themselves. They're hard to lock onto, and they're also really hard to hit with the normal tracking speed or missile speed, whatever the opponent's using. That really high speed of the warriors makes them pretty tough, especially against NPCs. As far as your neural implants, your augmentations here, so you only lose these if you get podded, right? If you lose the ship, you're okay, but if you lose the pod that has your clone body inside of it, that's when you lose the augmentations. So you want to be cautious about how much money you drop on implants if you're doing a lot of PvP. You might just take an empty clone body, like an empty jump clone or whatever, out there to PvP. You don't mind if you get blown up that way. In my case, I went ahead and filled out all the slots. I've had them for a long time. So the slots have different roles that they play. Slot 1 has a +3 to perception. That's probably its primary role, is as a perception unit. It has these secondary things that it does. So you can pay a little bit extra if you want to get really nice implants, but you should at least get, the plain Jane implants and go ahead and slot them in. This one gives a +4 bonus to memory, so that's slot 2. It's kind of dedicated to memory. Slot 3 is a willpower boost. It's probably always going to have a willpower bonus. Slot 4, this gives a bonus to intelligence, and I got one that does some other stuff here. Helps with ship fitting. Giving like power grid and CPU boosts and stuff, capacitor recharge. It's just handy. Alright, and slot 5 we've got the charisma chip, which you can see that I haven't prioritized this one as highly as some of the other ones. I'll get around to it. One of these days. Get a better charisma chip. And then 6 through 10 tend to be more specialized things. right? So this one gives like small projectile turret damage. This one does turret tracking speed. This one reduces afterburner capacitor requirements. This adds to turret damage. And this one increases missile launcher rate of fire. And I assure you that none of these things cost me all that much money. I'm not rich. You can see by my total net worth, I've got 2.4 billion ISK as my net worth at the moment. I've got as much free ISK at the moment as I've ever had in my life, because I've been doing market trades. So, but a lot of that money you take and you sink back into product that you put for sale again. So, you end up awash in a lot of cash at moments, but you need to reinvest that cash to keep getting higher and higher amounts with bigger sales. Anyway, so yeah, there's no reason you can't fill out all 10 slots. The really cheap ones that give like +1 boosts and +1% and stuff, they really don't cost that much. As long as you're, doing missions, you're like running some level 2 missions, or you're getting heavy into mining, you're making at least decent sums of money, to where a few million ISK or 10 million ISK isn't breaking the bank. Once you've reached that point, you can certainly fill out all of the implant slots. And the attributes, it all depends on what you want for your character, but if you want to train into a lot of things like I do, you could do worse than perception and intelligence. Anyway, that'll do it for the moment. So, not sure what we'll talk about next time, but rest assured I will keep finding some weird niche topics to discuss about EVE Online. The game is infinitely deep and complex, and I am far from a master of it. Anyway, like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Until next time, never stop honing your critical thinking and empathy.